I'm sitting here, it's probably about 9 o'clock on a Wednesday night, and I'm having a little glass of wine, and I was going to repot a couple of things, and I thought this would be a really good time to also do the Houseplant YouTuber Tag. That is from Good Life Green Tropics. I have a couple of peperomia peppers pots. Plants that I got from Josh's Frogs a little while ago. They are ready. I really wanted to pot them together into one terracotta pot, this little 4-incher. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try and disturb them as little as possible because I want them to just kind of do their thing. They acclimated really well, so I'm happy with that. We'll just get them into a new pot. And then my other project for tonight that I wanted to get done was to put this guy in soil. I have my little plugs that I got from Hertz Gardens of Ahoya Carnosa Compactive Arakata. So you can see really only one of them is somewhat variegated, but I figured I was going to go ahead and repot this one into soil. I've had it in sphagnum since I've gotten it, and I think it's probably just about time to get it into soil. I have all of my Hoyas are in soil. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to answer some questions while I'm doing it. Question 1, what is your favorite genus? I can pretty confidently say it's Hoya. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Next question. What is your least favorite genus? I'm gonna have to say really whatever the genus of most succulents are. Maybe it's multiple genuses. It's the type of plant I like the least. Just not a fan of succulents. Don't come for me. I know what I like, and I like what I know. Succulents is not it. What is a genus that intimidates you? I'm gonna have to go ahead and say alocasia. I don't have too many aroids. I kind of stick to the philodendron side of aroids. Well, are ZZ plants aroids as well? I'm gonna have to take a look, research that a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and say, yeah, alocasia, mainly because I've heard that they can be really finicky, and I also have heard that they are spider mite magnets, and I'm terrified of spider mites. Absolutely terrified of those little boogers, so I'll go ahead and say alocasia. If you were a houseplant, what would you be? Definitely a Hoya. That seems pretty certain. Which type of Hoya would I be? Probably pubicalix. I know that's kind of the boring answer, but I mean, they're consistent, they're reliable, they're adaptable, they can do pretty well in different types of settings and conditions and scenarios, and pretty go with the flow little plants. I'm gonna go with pubicalix on that one. Was there ever a houseplant you ended up disliking after purchasing it? Yeah, I mean, dislike is a strong word. Probably that I felt ambivalent about. Definitely gonna go with my ponytail palms on this one. I got a couple of those from my local garden center, and it was one of those situations where, like, I just kind of felt like I should buy them, and so I brought them home. They were 3 to a little pot, or 3 of them in there. So I brought them home, and I don't know, I just thought I should have them. And so then at one point I decided it would be a good idea to split them up. So I put one in its own pot. So now I have 2 pots of a plant that I'm not super crazy about. Riddle me that. I guess word of warning, like anytime you feel obligated to buy a plant just because you feel like you should have it, or, you know, or because you don't have one and you've seen other people have 1 or 2 or 10, maybe reevaluate, kind of figure out if that's the plant that you really do want, that you can't really do without. Actively seek out the plants that, you know, you're excited about, that bring you joy. Marie Kondo that shit. Favorite method of propagating? I would say water. That's kind of been my go-to. I've had great success with water, actually. Rooted a lot in water, a lot of Hoya, specifically, I would say. I am currently trying a new method with a couple of peperomia leaves from this guy, actually, that I lost. That dropped when it, you know, was in transit. I didn't want to just throw the leaves away, so I am currently propagating them in moss, in sphagnum moss, in a little, let me go get that for you. All right. It's kind of mixed results on this experiment, I think. Some of them are hanging in there, possibly rooting, and some of them are mush. Fun experiment, Jen. So yes, water propagation has been my greatest success. Moss, I might be looking for the right type of plant to continue those experiments with. I'm not sure that the peperomia, especially one that is seemingly this delicate, is going to be it. Short answer is water. Favorite plant things you like to do? Ooh, I really love my weekly, sometimes bi-weekly, sometimes multi-weekly, just general plant checkups. And it's a lot easier now because our governor just implemented an executive order for shelter in place starting Friday, this Friday, the 27th, and it will go until April 10th. So we're in it now. This is my peperomia, FYI, on a brighter note. All potted up. Love this little thing. He's so cute. I hope I didn't just like totally screw it up by repotting it too soon. It's been about a week. He's been stabilized. He's just been doing this thing. And I thought it might be fun to get him into some, you know, some of my soil that I trust with my plants and like, and then just kind of give him some growth space in there too. So yeah, I really like this. I really like this look too. I just think it's a cool little peperomia, this pepper spot. What was the question? Favorite plant things you like to do. So I do these plant checkups where I just wander around and I kind of visit with my plants. I will walk around with my moisture meter in the mornings, and I will kind of check out their moisture levels in their soil, and I will also check the foliage just to, you know, look for pests, look for issues, anything going on with them that's out of the ordinary. I do that at least once a week, oftentimes more than once a week, because I just can't stay away from them. Have you ever gone overboard with purchasing houseplants? Not so much to a point where I feel like it was out of control. I did acquire quite a few of them in a short amount of time. So the size of my collection kind of did this. It didn't go down. Who are we kidding? It just kind of went and then plateaued maybe a little bit. So I don't think it was ever out of control. I'm drawn to a few different genuses of plants. So Hoya, a few jungle cacti varieties, and then also peperomia is probably my second biggest collection in my home after Hoya. Philodendrons to an extent, but I'm not, you know, I have only a handful of those. So for those genuses that I've kind of really grown to enjoy a lot, I kind of feel like I'm more of a collector. There are certain plants I know that do well in my home, and so I lean toward those. I'm selective about that. I do the research ahead of time. If I feel like I'm not going to be able to give the plant what it needs, I hesitate. I won't, I'll press pause. I don't want to put a plant through a slow decline in my house just for the sake of having it. So the plants that I do have, I genuinely appreciate, and I selected them because I thought that they might do well. The plants that I love and want more of. So I don't know if I go overboard necessarily. Yes, I have a lot of plants. It is a hobby, and it is a coping mechanism for me, and I feel like both of those things kind of cancel out the overboard. Have you ever been swayed by social media popularity pressure when it comes to plants? I'm going to think about that for a second, but I'm also going to repot this little guy because I do have enough soil to be able to do that. I'm just going to repot him back into this plastic nursery pot. I'm not going to go any bigger with this one quite yet. I'm also going to check the roots because it's been a minute since I've seen what those look like on this one. Okay, so have you ever been swayed by social media popularity pressure when it comes to plants? I don't think so. I definitely use social media as a learning opportunity more so than kind of a who's got what and who's who and that kind of thing. And I didn't really start my YouTube channel to get a bunch of followers and make money off of it. I really just kind of viewed it as an opportunity to get to know people who are experiencing the joys of the same hobby that I have, and that I could learn from, that we could, learn from each other. That's really the goal of kind of joining the plant community on social media. So I don't really view it that way. Of course, there are people who have plants that I would love to have, and I'm not going to say that I don't look at, some people's feeds and go, oh my God, what? Are you kidding? But I don't think that I've ever been swayed by anyone on here to purchase anything, or to, to want to try and acquire a certain type of plant for a certain exorbitant amount of money. I don't think that's ever something that I've really kind of leaned toward on here. What is a plant that you own that you feel should get more spotlight time on social media? Can you see me? This one. This is my cast iron plant. I will put the botanical name down here because I have had some wine tonight and I don't know if I can remember what it is or how to say it. I love this plant. It's one of the biggest plants that I own, aside from my my oak leaf ivy, my Allandanica, my Cissus rhombifolia. Cast iron plant is amazing to me because it requires very little of you, and it grows and grows in very minimal conditions. So I have this in a lower light part of my home. It does get light. It's in, during the day, it's in a bright, the room that it's in is not a cave. It's not dark by any means. But it's not right next to a window. It's not under a grow light or anything like that. I water it infrequently. Should probably water it now, actually. It's pretty dry. It makes a statement, and it's 100% pet safe. Some floor plants, some of the big, spectacular looking floor plants aren't necessarily safe for your pet if they ingest it. I'm fortunate that mine does not really mess with my plants. I think I've mentioned that a few times on here. But this beautiful big plant, you know, it's sitting right next to her. It's well within her reach, and I'm not worried because it is pet safe. It's on the ASPCA list of non-toxic plants for dogs, cats, and horses. So I think this is a very underrated house plant, the cast iron plant. Strongly recommend you pick one up if you are able to find one. I found one at my local nursery, and there was actually quite a few. So if you're ever at Tonkadale in Minnetonka, grab one of these. I just learned that Tonkadale is closing temporarily due to what's going on with COVID-19. So they are following the mandates by our governor to kind of close down for the next couple of weeks. So if you are able to support them after this all passes and they reopen, or if you want to support your local nurseries wherever you are, you know, in this time, if your states are implementing a similar thing, please do so. They need our support now more than ever. Okay. I answered all the questions. Should probably finish repotting this Hoya. Thank you to Good Life Green Tropics for making a tag, and if you guys want to check out her channel, I will put it in my description down below. I really have been on a kick finding fellow newer YouTubers. I think it's great to follow, you know, the veterans on here, but I also think it's great to find people who are just starting out and supporting them also. So it's fun also to see what people are working on and what their levels of experience are with plants. And yeah, so I will make sure to put her information down below, so definitely go check her out. Kind of an effing mess. I always feel itchy after I'm repotting stuff. I don't like to use gloves. Really should. There. Not much of a difference. Just in soil now. Plant chores are done. Now, I'm gonna go drink the rest of my wine. Snuggle with Hound Dog, who's already sleeping over there. And enjoy the rest of Wednesday. So I hope you do the same. And until next time, enjoy your plants.